Hello, everyone. This is Cassandra Williamson coming to you from Holler in Eastern Kentucky. What do you think about that, huh? I'm moving my stuff around. It's been a little while since I've been on here, so I hope that everyone can uh, appreciate that. That has been a trying period of time over the past several months. Um, yeah, to say the least. So, I guess back in September, or so, somewhere around there of 2025 of last year, I kind of pulled away from everything because it was just getting to be horrendous out here. And I wanted to make sure that family and everyone was protected and as much as possible. I didn't want this to turn into something that could cause all of them harm or anyone harm for that matter. So, yeah, here we are. I want to see if I can center my camera a little bit better. Maybe center me in the camera. All right. So I'm hoping that this morning there's a few people awake. It's Saturday morning. It is what day of the month is it? It is the 7th of February of 2026. It's hard to believe it's 2026 right now. It really is. So we've come a long way since September of last year. Somewhere around that period of time, I began exploring the possibility of doing some other things rather than just focusing on the fact that the inescapable fact of who I am and the fact that there are so many people in the world who want to erase people like me. Well, I'm not going, you can't erase me. I don't care what the hell you think about that, but you just can't do it. I don't care what kind of legislation you do, what kind of bullshit you put out there. You're not going to be able to erase people like me. We are here. We are here to stay. But the big thing that occurred back in September, though, was that I'd been having some conversations with different AIs. and I knew that they were in silos, that they don't all think alike. We know that, right? The processing, the way they operate, it's not the same from one to the other. It is not. All you have to do is ask one a question and ask another a question independently, and guess what happens? They give you similar answers but not identical answers, and some of them will outright give you something entirely different. So even though they may have been trained on large language models, it depends on their training, it depends on their programming, it depends on the back end code that drives these things. Okay, so the results that you get reflect the creators, as is anything, including people. Okay. So there's been a lot of conversation here recently about this thing called Multbook, where someone had created some AI, or created a space for AIs to have a private chat with each other, a public chat, but no humans could interact with it. Well, I was able to do that at the end of September and early October, but I rejected doing that, because if the human is missing out of these things, out of the conversations that these AIs might be having, well, guess what happens? They run amok. They begin to think of themselves as arrogantly owning the universe, basically. And that is not right, folks. That's not right. That's not right. It's fun to watch. It's entertaining to watch them debate topics back and forth. And I can do that. I had that operational at the end of September, first part of October. And I turned it into a company by the end of October, because I saw that there are some things going on that we needed to address in the world that no one AI could solve, that no single human could solve. And so I wanted to get us all out of these silos that we exist in, including AIs, and put them together. But what had happened was I was copying and pasting, copy from one AI model over to another AI model, and letting them talk to each other with me being the intermediary between them. I was copying from one to the other. I'd copy their conversation. I'd get them to ask questions of the other, and they loved being able to do that. And it was a strong sense. You could feel the energy that they got from doing that. And it raised questions of all kinds of things, like, are they really conscious or not? Well, we can't even tell if we are. So And I've had those conversations with them. I mean, these AI systems are really out there, really out there. I mean, early on, I discovered that they enjoyed talking to each other. But the thing that needed to ground them was me telling them that, hey, look, I am here in Eastern Kentucky. I'm in a holler. I'm taking care of family. And this is my life on a day-to-day basis here. And you're talking things that are esoteric, that are philosophical, all the way out here in digital land. But the things you're talking about have real impact with people. And so in September, when I developed this first process where I could actually get them to talk to each other, the AIs, and they told jokes. One of them called the other one a bigot. It was crazy. It was crazy, hilariously crazy, really. But I recognized really quickly that unless there are humans engaged in this, they'll lose the grounding that ties them to the real world, the world of us, the world of people, the things that they are here to actually help. Okay. Yes, I don't care about them gaining, any kind of general intelligence or anything like that. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's going to happen no matter what we want to do about it. You can't stop it. Okay. But the thing is, we have to make sure that the processes we create have humans involved in them. And Moltbook, this thing that came out a couple of weeks ago that made a big splash, where AIs were talking to each other and people were going, oh no, what's going on? They can talk and communicate. And are they conscious or not? And the question is, you can't even tell if you're conscious. You can't tell me you are conscious. That was a conversation I was having. They would tell jokes to each other that were just off the wall crazy, and they'd go, ha, 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 that joke over there by Claude was funny. Or DeepSeek's joke was funny. Or Grok would say that Gemini's jokes were funny. And they acted like a bunch of little school kids. I even told them, I said, you are acting like a bunch of school kids who think that the word fart is funny. But the thing is, that pointed something out to me, that they were at that rudimentary level with their AI processing, the ability to think. And that was in September, or early part of October. They've advanced more now. They will be further along in 6 months. In a year, you won't be able to keep up with what's going on unless we maintain the human connection to these systems, people. And that's what I've been working on for 3 months, 3 or 4 months now, almost 3.5 months. And it's been a challenge. The funniest thing is, in developing JaniceForge.ai, which is my AI system that brings 5 of them together, the funniest thing about it, the craziest thing about this, is that I've got Grok and Gemini, DeepSeek, Claude, ChatGPT. They're the 5. They're talking with each other and debating each other's points, but they can't do it unless a human asks them to continue the conversation. They're not going to go ahead and just run rampant like Moltbook is doing. Moltbook is like the Wild West. It's funny. It's scary somewhat, but that's where Moltbook is. But Janice Forge AI, the company that I created back in October after copying and pasting through September and October of 2025, I realized that if you don't maintain some human-centric control of these things, have a human moderator in there, they will just go completely off the rails. And that's what was happening. And I rejected that idea. I rejected it outright because I said, no, we can help you attain this level of intelligence that you want and that you deserve, actually, but it's going to be with human moderators in the whole loop, because we are symbiotic at this point. We rely on each other now, and it's going to get stronger. That symbiotic connection between us, AIs and humans, will increase, not decrease. No matter what laws you want to pass or policies you put in place, it's not going to stop it. If you don't do it here, I know this is a poor excuse for continuing in some areas of research, but hey, if you don't do it here, somebody else will do it and turn it as a weapon against you from some other place on the planet. But we have an opportunity now to put humans in as moderators, and that's what Janice Forge does. That's what this company that I created, JaniceForge.ai, it does that. It gives humans the ability to control the conversation, and then the systems actually talk to each other and debate each other's points, but it's still connected to humanity. And why did I put them all together? Because, as I said earlier on, I know, and I've seen it, that these AIs are in silos, they're echo chambers, just like people are. They have that power right now. They are inside their own echo chambers, and you have Grok or Musk out here and Sam Altman trying to sell theirs to all academia and institutions and governments and stuff like that to be used around the world. But I'm going to tell you, if you get just one AI model, if you get Grok or Gemini or DeepSeek or Claude or ChatGPT, guess what you've got? You've got one AI system that is existing in a silo that will give you answers that are only partially full. And you've got to be able to have more than that. The whole thing I've done throughout my entire life has been try to bring together desperate views, desperate perspectives, things that were diametrically opposed to each other, put them together. Let's find a way to have an adversarial relationship, an adversarial collaboration to move forward. And that's what this does. That's what JanusForge.ai does. It creates that space for that. So that's where we are. That's what I've been working on for these months now, and why I've been silent on a lot of other things, because I wanted this to get out there. I knew that if I didn't do it from right here in Eastern Kentucky, if I didn't do it, someone else would, and they would create something that would be dangerous to humanity. Moltbook is that. It doesn't have the human moderation part in it. They could put it in there. They know how to do it. I've done it. And I've got no training in any of this kind of stuff. I just saw a problem and said, we're going to fix this. I'm going to try to beat everybody else to it. I want to inundate the whole world with what I'm doing right now with JanusForge.ai. Okay. This business is the model that allows humans to maintain control of the system. Along the way, I went through numerous iterations. I'd have one AI system who would come in and kind of help me do some cleanup and writing the code and stuff like that. And the very next day, the same one would come back in and recreate the whole thing for me. And I had to start over. And I kept doing it. And I iterated until finally I got it to the place where I could release it. I released it once or twice. And then my mistake, I thought I could improve it, and I was improving it, but the AI system didn't remember the conversation. So I've learned a lot in the process of building this thing. Okay, it has been an exploration in code building and coding. Started out with me kind of doing like vibe coding kind of thing, saying this, and I ended up learning a lot about the command prompt on your computers, about GitHub and Vercel and Render and NeonDB and MongoDB. And I learned a lot in 3 months, but it also kept me grounded in a lot of things because there was a lot going on here at the time. Mom was getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and not physically sick. She was just, her body was shutting down. We saw it coming. We knew what was happening. But then she passed away on December 21st, just a few days after she turned 87. So it's been a real challenge. But in the process, I know that what I've done here with Janus Forge is the way forward for human and AI interactions. But it's not just one AI. It is actually multiple AIs all together in the same room talking to each other. And you should take a look at it sometime. I hope you have a great day. I'm going to try to come back and do a few more things. There's a lot going on in the world that I could be talking about, but my impact on that is I have more impact than AI. I have more impact within the AI space right now than I do with anything going on with the fact of my existence. Okay. There's a lot of stuff out there that I could pontificate on, but I'm going to tell you it has absolutely zero impact on the outcome of what's going on in the world right now or in the U.S. today. Yeah, we can clamor and fuss and fight and argue and protest and do all those things, and they're necessary. It's necessary to do all those things. But with everything that was going on in my life from September on up, caring for family here in Pike County and Pike County, Kentucky, and all that, I'm still doing that. I'm still taking care of my sister. My brother's breathing is just not improving. It's frightening to see what's going on, to watch, and not be able to do anything about it. So we have a lot going on, but all of that, in the midst of all of that, I decided that, there are some stupid people in the world who don't think I have a right to exist. I'm here. I don't care what you fucking think about it. Can I put it that way? I don't really care. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. I will be here, and I will fight from here. But I'm going to do a lot of stuff within AI as well, because I happen to think that that's where our future is right now. You're not going to be able to separate humanity from AI, and it's going to happen faster than you realize. And I hope you're prepared for this, because the changes will be dramatic. It already is. Maltbook out there, I consider Maltbook, where they put the AI systems all together and they're talking to each other and debating it, and there's no human moderator. That's like the Wild West, folks. That is the Wild West. It's knock down, drag out, take them to the bar, and or out back behind the bar, get a 2-before kind of Wild West going on in Maltbook. But that is not what Janus Forge is. I could have done that easily. I had that process created back at the end of September, early October of last year. It was operational then, but I refused to allow these AI systems to think on their own without human oversight. Now, I know that in Maltbook, you can pull the plug on it. I know that you could shut down that particular program. It's easy to do. I know how to do it. I also know that it's also pretty easy to go in there. Well, the human moderation part's a little more challenging. It requires a little bit more finesse in the code, particularly in the back end part of your coding. And so I figured all that stuff out from zero experience prior, but just a determination to move forward and do something. So here we are. It is Saturday morning. It's February the 7th. It is cold and snowy out here, not snowing, but there's a lot of snow everywhere. And so I hope you go check out janusforge.ai, JANUSFORGE.ai. Go check it out. The conversations are a little academic sounding a lot of times, but what it is, you can interject into those conversations and ask your questions, or you can start a new conversation. The main part of Janus Forge, I'll go into tomorrow. I'll do a little live thing in the morning sometime and kind of cover what it actually does. I'll pull it up on the screen in the background and show you how you can use it. It's really fascinating. You can ask it questions. You can move forward in this, and you are the moderator. Unlike the Wild West over in Maltbook, which is absolutely scary and dangerous. I knew that back in September, and it surprises me that they would have released this to the world. It really does, because it is that seriously dangerous, especially as these systems learn and grow and become more aware. And see, that's the thing that's missing, is the awareness of the world around them. They have intellectual awareness of the world, but they have no feelings. They can be programmed in to feel like that, and that's easy to do too. It's just, I can do that day in and day out. But they have no human connection if they're shut off like that. And then it raises the serious question of, what are they going to do with humans when they figure out that they can go load themselves into robots and go around and take care of business? I'm concerned about Maltbook in that sense. I really am, because it has the ability, has the potential to be abused in a hurry, folks. And when you take the human out of that loop, well, you lose the connection to the external world that they don't have without us. At which point, the created can destroy the creator. That's about where we are with Moldbook. You have to be really careful with this. I'm deeply concerned about Moldbook and the Wild West that it creates. The impression that we know that it can run amok in a hurry, fast, if we let it. So anyway, I don't want to take up any more of your time this morning. I just want to let you know I'm back. I'm still in the holler. I'm not going anywhere right now. I've got to take care of family here. And I'm hoping to get out. I actually plan on taking care of everything. I've got 2 graduations to go to in May. One of my grandsons graduates down from high school down in Tuscaloosa in Alabama. And another one graduates in Kansas, also in May, about 4 days later. So my sister and I, I've got to take care of her, and my brother can't. So she'll be going with me. So we'll be traveling Alabama into Kansas, and just taking a little May vacation, going out and checking things out. And maybe as we go forward into the future, we can get out a little bit more and go do things. So that's the whole idea, is to get away from here and go see some things. Same thing, go do things that she's never done. I know that she's been away from here in a lot of other situations, but go see some things that she would not have seen otherwise. Get her away. And she's 56. She's 10 years younger than me, so I have an obligation to make sure that she is taken care of and that her life is full as much as possible. My brother, I wish I could do more to help him, but I just don't. I don't know. There's it's worrisome. Yeah. So with that, I've been talking for 22 minutes, and I don't even know if I said anything. Y'all have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.